started blogging in 2014, I have made a ton of mistakes. I pretty much feel like I've made them all, but each of those missteps have helped me learn some really important lessons, and they've allowed me to really gain the knowledge I needed to grow my blogging businesses to where they are today. So in today's video, I am sharing what I would do during my first month blogging if I was starting today, given the knowledge that I now have from over 7 years of blogging. Let's get started. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you are new here, hello. My name is Maureen from thecreativeimpact.com, where I help new and growing female entrepreneurs build a profitable blogging business on WordPress without the stress so that they can turn their passion into profits and make a massive impact on the world. If this sounds like you, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that you ring the bell so that you don't miss any of the videos I post on this channel each and every week. Okay, if you are thinking about starting a blog or you have started one and you're asking yourself, what do I do my first month of blogging? Then you are in the right place. I'm going to be sharing 8 things that I would do during my first month blogging if I was just starting today, given those lessons that I have learned from all my past mistakes. Now, first off, let me say that I'm a huge believer in failing forward. As entrepreneurs, you can't be afraid to fail, right? Because it's inevitable. It's going to happen a lot, even with these tips that I'm giving you. But if you look at your failures as learning opportunities to move you forward, then your success is also inevitable. So your first month blogging it's going to be challenging as you start to figure everything out, but keep going. Focus on one thing at a time and really give yourself grace. All right, now that you understand that it's not going to be perfect, let's get into what you want to be doing your first month blogging. Okay, before you even get started creating your actual blog, during your first month blogging, you want to, number one, get very clear on your niche and narrow it down till it hurts. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, and you're likely gonna feel that narrowing down means limiting your reach and ultimately your success, but it's actually the complete opposite of that. Because when you speak to everyone, you really are speaking to no one. The more niche you are, the faster you are going to grow. I've created a ton of videos on narrowing down your niche that get into more detail on how to do this. I'll put them in the show notes below. There's one on 175 blog niches if you're unsure of what you want to blog about. So make sure to check that out if you are at that stage right now. This is a great place to start. What goes hand in hand with narrowing down your niche, and the second thing that you must do your first month of blogging, is to conduct market research. Now, I know you probably don't want to hear this. I did not want to listen to this advice when I first started at all. The thought of market research always seemed so incredibly boring to me. I thought it was a waste of time. I just wanted to jump right in and start blogging. So my first time around, I didn't do this at all. And surprise, surprise, my content wasn't fully resonating with my target audience. I had a couple of areas that I was focusing on. I was kind of all over the place. I created a course that no one wanted. It was a big mess. So I decided to go back and do a little bit of market research. I asked a few questions, looked at a few comments, and I thought, okay, good, I got it. But no, it wasn't until I completely just put my hands up, surrendered, said, okay, market research, you're right. And I sucked it up, spent a good amount of time going back, talking to people interested in my blog niche, really noting and writing down the questions they were asking in Facebook groups, on Quora, analyzing the competition. Was there competition? I reached out to people, asked if I could get on a phone call with them. Later on, it went to Zoom to just kind of ask them some questions, ask them what their biggest struggles were when it came to, for instance, with my first blogging business, what their biggest struggle was regarding parenting anxious, sensitive kids. And then with this second blogging business that I have now, what people's biggest struggles were with starting a blog, an online business. I really got to know my target audience's pain points, what they wanted help with the most, what their goals were and if their pain points were significant enough for them to want to spend money on. You really want to be doing this your first month blogging. And I want you to understand too, it's really important to understand that even after you do this, you're not going to have every single thing figured out. You're probably going to have to do some pivoting and tweaking as you gain more feedback and experience over time. But this research is going to help you get so much clearer on, number one, is there a demand for the topic? Is it significant enough for people to spend their money on this problem? And that's something huge you need to know in the first month before you waste time. And number two, is there competition in your niche? And if there isn't, then that's something to be afraid of, because no competition means that there's probably not a profit to be made on it. Okay, you definitely want some competition. Market research is also going to help you figure out what your demographic looks like and what does your ideal audience specifically want more information on and help with. Now, again, I totally get that market research, it's going to feel like a boulder you kind of have to scale before getting started on your blogging journey. And you just, you want to go around it. But I want to be real with you and tell you, this is how it felt for me. I know from past experience that if you do want to build a profitable blogging business, though, you really do need to do this. It's the truth. Otherwise, you're going to feel like you're climbing a mountain instead of a boulder when you need to change up the content that you've written, or you realize that everything you have been working on for months and months is not really what your audience wants or needs, and you have to start from square one. Don't get to that point, okay? The third thing I would do if I was just starting my blog today would be to create a clear statement on who I help, how I help them, and what their transformation will be. Now, this messaging is what should hit people in the face when they visit your blogging homepage. You want to be crystal clear when someone lands on your page, how you can help them, okay? For this business, my statement is I help new and growing female entrepreneurs build a profitable blogging business on WordPress without the stress so that they can turn their passion into profits and make a massive impact. If you've been watching my videos, I say it before all my videos start. I put it on my blog. So people know exactly if this is right for them, because the whole point of marketing is you want to attract those that are interested and repel those who aren't, okay? So the statement formula that I teach my students is I help who are you trying to help with what specific struggle that you're going to solve so that they can, and what's the transformation. Now this is key. This is something I dive into with my coaching clients and students, because people are going to relate to the transformation you're offering. Okay, hit the like button if this makes sense to you, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. These first 3 steps are foundational and they tie in with step number 4, which is creating a blogging business plan. You really want to sit down and write out a business plan for your blog, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. You need to be crystal clear on what you are building and working toward, or else you will lose focus and stay stuck. And this is another thing that I really avoided doing in my first month of blogging when I was first starting out 7 years ago. I did not do this, had to backtrack a lot. So this is a really important step. Get clear on what your narrowed down niche is, your business statement, as we discussed in step 3, right? Who your ideal reader is. Write down your why. Why are you 100% committed to making this blogging business happen? Because things are going to come up. Life is going to get in the way. And your why has to be really, really strong to keep you committed and moving forward and not giving up, okay? You want to be clear on what your vision is. What are your top 3 goals for the month, the quarter, the year? Make sure to be really realistic with your schedule and your goals as you plan things out, because everyone's life's going to look different. So if you're currently working full time or in a phase of your life where you are a mom to young children who aren't in school yet, then your blogging timeline, schedule, goals, they're going to look different from someone who works part-time or is blogging full-time or has older children or no children, right? If you want to make a blogging business work, you need to make sure to take these things into consideration when making your business plan, so your business does not end up running you and burning you out. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't want to stretch yourself a bit and aim high when creating your goals, but you need to make sure that your business plan fits into your current stage of life, okay? If you guys would like a workshop with the step-by-step process of really creating a business plan with the exact questions you should be asking yourself and what you should be including in your plan, type interested in business plan help or something like that in the comments. And if enough people are interested, I will definitely work on making that a reality. The fifth thing you want to do your first month of blogging is to actually purchase your hosting and domain. Now, if you want to build a profitable blogging business, then WordPress.org it's hands down where you want to be. I feel very strongly about this. When you see those posts or pins saying start a free blog or start for free, they're talking about starting on a free version of Squarespace or Wix or Weebly, which is it's a big no-no if you want to have a profitable blogging business, not just a hobby. And there's a lot that goes into this, but when you self-host your own website with WordPress.org, you really have total control over your online presence, your customization options, and how you monetize your blog. You have the final say on how your blog looks and what the user experience is like. No one gets to tell you what happens on your blog or decides anything with your business. And the cost is very minimal to start out. You don't want to be on something like WordPress.com, which is different from WordPress.org, which is so confusing to beginning bloggers. It's a whole other story in and of itself. I have a video on the pros and cons of the most popular blogging platforms that I will put a link to in the video below. I'll try to put it above as well. That you can start educating yourself a little bit more. And then when you're ready, I have a step-by-step guide to setting up your blog on WordPress that you can access for free. I will also put that link above and in the show notes. Part of the process of setting up your hosting and your blog is picking out the domain name for your site. This is your URL, like mine's thecreativeimpact.com. I have a whole video with tips on picking out your domain name that I will put in the show notes below. There's a lot going on down there. Make sure to check all those tips out in the show notes. When you sign up for Bluehost, the hosting provider that I use and recommend, I take you through that in my free tutorial. You will get a free domain for your first year. That's a really nice bonus. So sign up for Bluehost, you will get that free domain. It's just part of the process. Okay, the sixth thing that I would do in my first month of blogging if I was just starting out would be to start really brainstorming product and freebie ideas right from the get-go. I can hear you guys already saying, hold on a minute, I'm just starting out. This is my first month. I am not ready to create a product. Like, I know, I get that. You're not creating anything for a while. And there's a whole strategy when you are ready for creating your actual digital products. But based on your market research, you want to start really thinking about what would help your audience and make their lives easier and solve their biggest pain point. You want to start thinking about this from day one. Then you want to start reverse engineering it. Like, if I want to create a digital product based around solving this specific pain point, which is what I highly recommend you start thinking about if you want to be profitable long-term, then you have to think, what is a freebie or free gift that I can give them to get them one step closer to solving this problem and leading them closer to my product? Now, this gets a little bit advanced, but it's important to understand the strategy when you are first starting out. So, I don't know if you can hear my son screaming. So once you start publishing your blog posts and getting some traffic to your site, you want to make sure that you have a way to keep in touch with your reader after they leave your blog post. And this is done by offering a freebie. That's that free gift you give to your reader in exchange for their email address. I have a few different freebies that I offer on my blog. One of them is the blog launch checklist, which will be perfect for those of you watching this video. Again, I will put a link to that in the show notes below. Now, your digital product and freebie ideas, these are things you want to start brainstorming your first month, okay? Then the seventh thing you want to do in your first month is make a list of blog post ideas that you could create that are related to a few of your freebie ideas and will help your customer on their journey, because you want to get them closer to being ready for your service or your product that you're ultimately going to offer. So come up with as many blog post ideas as possible. Like, I would say at least 30, but aim bigger, 40, 50, and record them in a notebook or something like Google Sheets so you have quick access to them when you are ready to write those blog posts. And the eighth, and what I think is the most important thing of all that you want to be doing in your first month, is you want to start writing blog content in your first month. This sounds like a no-brainer, but a lot of new bloggers it's easy to get caught up in busy work, like checking emails, tweaking your website or blog that you're putting up, focusing on social media, seeing if you got any new followers on your social media, hashtag all the distractions, right? But the main thing that you need to be doing is actually sitting down and writing your blog post. That is what is going to start growing your blogging business, that and that alone. So I suggest writing and publishing about 4 blog posts on your site before you officially launch your blog, so that there is content for people to read when you're sending them to your site. So if you only take one thing away from this video, make sure that you are writing blog posts during your first month. And these blog posts should ideally be evergreen blog posts that will be relevant for months and years to come. I have a video that gives you 10 evergreen posts you want to be creating for your blog. So that's a really great place to start. You check that out for getting those first content ideas. Okay, that was a lot. I know. How are you feeling? Be honest. I know that may seem like a lot of steps for the first month, but it is 100% possible. You can do this. You have to remember that starting a business, any business, is a lot of work up front. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, make sure to tell yourself that you're learning something new, and have grace with yourself as you work on creating this new business. It should be fun. It should be exciting. Make sure you're working on your right mindset. Blogging is a long game. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It takes time. It takes work. It takes consistency to really succeed, but it is 100% worth it. So take it one step at a time, and you'll slowly start to build some really good momentum. Now, if you want some more help as you begin your blogging business journey, and you're interested in joining a community of other like-minded bloggers to connect with, make sure to sign up for my free 5-day blogging business challenge taking place on August 23rd through the 27th, 2021, by going to thecreativeimpact.com/free challenge. And in this challenge, I'm going to be sharing my key strategies for creating a profitable blogging business. I've done this challenge a few times before. It's an amazing 5 days. Do not miss it. I will put a link in the show notes below. Be sure to check that out, and I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.